What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing out there tonight? All right. I'm just trying to make sure I got all my P's and Q's marked here. And any guys want to give me a 5 by 5 to make sure that I got everything running? Because this was last minute, folks, last minutes. All right. Miss Worm says 5 here. All right. That's good to know. Because, folks, you guys know that I'll do a live stream and forget to hit the unmute button. I didn't know what to do for the intro, so I literally went in my computer room and threw something together really fast just because I didn't know what to use because it's not like Welcome to the Apocalypse. It's not like one of my normal live streams. But let me take a moment out and say hello to some of you folks out there that have taken the time out of your evening to come and hang out with Grey, myself, and the Grey community. I see Stuart's prepping in the house, Devil Dog Prepper, Little Lone Prepper, Kevin Grips in the house, Michael Stacking, Sherry, Josie Hickman, Sam in the East, JT, Wolfden Homesteading, Steve Canyon. Let me see if I get this right. Ghost Lincon. Hopefully I got that one good. Suzanne Yarn. Thank you for letting all the ladies know that I was going live. Off the Wall Prepper. Good to see you. Snake Bite. Callie Prepper. Tammy Harder. Miss Worm, did I get you? And Jan. Scott Hummer. Let's see. Deborah Prince. We got Troll. Nostradamus. Good to see you. Angela. Trying to back up a little bit. Muskoka. I got Scott, Marianne Lucas. Backing up a little bit. Trees Matter. Hello from California. Pamela Wilson. Let me see. Who else do we have this evening? I'm trying to bounce around a little bit to make sure I get most of you folks in here. Waiting to come live and playing live. Right on, Josie. Amazing Grandma, good to see you. No, Amazing Grandma, I'll tip on Rudy as well. Rudy, I think he put out a video today. Let me see. I think I got everybody. Disney at Boiler, good to see you. Stuart, Water Tiger, Suzanne, Ikery, D. Paul. Sound is deteriorating. Is it, or is it just me? Do I sound? Miss Worm says my sound is deteriorating a bit. I'm double checking it. Everything looks good on my side. I don't know. It could be just me that I'm moving around too much. Hey, Brenda, good to see you as well. Sound is bad. Let me try something here. My apologies, folks. Let me see what I sound like. You know what it is? I think is because that's not muted. I'm going to double check something real fast. Again, my apologies. All right, testing one. It looks good there. How's that, folks? 5 by 5? All right. All right. Snake Bite says 5 by 5. Sounds like you've been sick. Oh, I have. I've been sick. All right. I thought it was connection because of the storm, but yeah, the sound is off. All right. How about now? I see that I got that covered there. 5 by 5 better. All right. Awesome. My apologies. It's been a while. When is the last time I did a live stream? I don't even remember. I think his last time was me and Rudy. Awesome. Hey, Johnny, good to see you as well, man. Philip. All right. So, folks, so some of you folks may know that I did, after the New Year's, I got sick. I put a community post up and said I was feeling better, and it got worse. And before anybody asks, no, well, at least as far as I know, it was just a sinus infection that got kind of haywire or crazy or whatnot. I've never, far as I know, and I'll be honest with you, I've never been tested. I've never been tested for the Charlie Victor. That's what I call it. The whatever you want to call what happened in 2020 or 2020, whenever it was. I never got tested. I never, did the thing. I never did any of that. So I don't know. But it wasn't like I had a fever or nothing like that. I just lost my voice, lots of congestion and sore throat, coughing, kind of like the common cold or maybe a flu. I'm not sure. But when I talked to my friend, he was like, you got a sinus infection. And ironically, I didn't take any antibiotics. I like to beat things myself. I pumped myself full of echinacea and vitamin C, vitamin D. I did everything I could on the medicinal side of things to get myself out of the woods. A lot of hot showers, humidifier, you know what I mean? Just that kind of normal stuff. I don't like using medications unless I absolutely have to. Even for my cough drops, I was using Manuka honey, just because that soothes the throat. Nothing too much artificial stuff. And it worked. I feel 100% better, but I wasn't able to really go out and do YouTube for a while. So there's a lot of things. I did do a video last week, which was the AeroPress Go, which is a coffee maker, kind of like on the go camping thing. And good to see you, Bitter Critter. Good to see you, man. And I did that video, and then I just got busy with life. And folks, on the back end of YouTube, if you notice something, if you type this into YouTube, and now this hasn't really nothing to do with the prepper community, or maybe it does, I don't know. There is a lot of major, large, huge prepping channels, or not prepping channels, channels in general that are leaving YouTube, or kind of, I guess they've gotten burnt out. I mean, these people have 20 or 30 million subscribers. These are just major YouTubers. I just saw this thing trending, people quitting YouTube and or passing the reins to someone else to run their channel. I mean, these are large channels. They have a team. They have production studios. It's a business for them at this point. And I guess a lot of them started when they were young, 10, 15 years ago. And I guess they're done with it. They've made their place. They've gotten their brand out there. They've grew a community. And now they're just like, they have their families to deal with. They've had kids, they've gotten married, all kinds of things happen behind the scenes outside of us, us folks on here doing YouTube. And I honestly feel that most folks should take a break, which I did. I took a couple of weeks off for the Christmas holiday. And hey, Coffee First and Speak, good to see you. Potato Head, good to see you as well. I'm catching things out of the corner of my eye. I do have this new monitor that I got to try to keep paying attention to chat, but I keep on still looking over at this screen. Anyways, you know how it's like I see squirrel and I start jumping all over the place. But I suggest to folks, when it comes to anything, your job, life, stresses, the holidays can be very stressful, very fun and entertaining, and you get to see family and stuff like that. But it can also be very stressful for folks. Depending on where you live at in the world, it can be very dreary and rainy. People get sick. A lot of people had colds and flus and all kinds of stuff. So there's so much involved in life that sometimes you just got to take a break. And that's what I decided to do after I got sick New Year's Day, and was sick for about a week or week and a half. I talked to Rudy and a couple other folks that were concerned, and I, had conversations with them, and like, I'm still alive. I'm not dying or nothing like that. I just, I wasn't 100%. And now I am. I know my voice still sounds a little funky. I just been on meetings today, and I know it sounds weird. I've been on meetings. I'm just having to reel in everything and catch up to the world around me, per se, right? From my job to the YouTubes to my community and stuff like that. Because I asked Yarn, I told Yarn that I was just going to do a video, and I said, let me do a live stream and just interact with some of you folks out there. So there's nothing specific that I'm talking about in this live stream other than trying to catch everyone up and let everybody know I'm okay, that you guys can see me. And, it's not just a community post or a video. It's me here live on the stream. Some of you folks have asked about Rudy. We had to cancel Monday's night stream because of the fact that he got so much snow that he was exhausted. He was beat, man. And he's just like, hey, can we schedule it next week? We'll start back up fresh next Monday. So Rudy and I will be live back again on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think it's 3 p.m. Alaska time. And we'll be doing our thing again throughout the 2024. It should be an interesting year, being it's an election year. So we should see a lot of things. It's been crazy already. The weather has been very chaotic. And I here's the thing is I've been preaching for a while. I think back since March. I think I was talking to Yarn about this as well. I communicate with Yarn via Instagram, and I was telling her that back in March or April, or no, when was it? God, it was a few months before winter started to show its ugly face. And I said, excuse me. I said, from the Farmer's Almanac and periodicals and some of the folks that I watch, winter's looking pretty bad from the Northeast region. You know what I mean? It's going to be weird temperatures, weird snowstorms and blizzards. And here in Florida, it's going to be abnormally cold, but very wet and rainy. It's just with the whole cycle of this year, it's just been nasty. And I was hoping that folks would have listened to some of the things that I talked about in some of those videos where I was like, hey, man, you need to prep for winter, be it in the South or the North or wherever you're at, because it just, things come out of nowhere. Even the news will get some things right. But we're looking at like how Texas plunged again down into very cold temperatures, and winter is not over. We're just in the middle of January. Most folks will stay in the deep freeze until like mid-March. So I hope everyone's staying safe out there, and I hope everybody is feeling well and doing better. I know there's a lot of folks that were sick in the community. They had wrote me emails and stuff like that, checking on me. I really appreciate when you guys go above and beyond like that. It means a lot. And I guess I should give myself a thumbs up, huh? I'm looking at my thumbs up on the screen here, and I was like, I only got so many thumbs up. Let me go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for myself. How many people we have in chat, anyways? 118 of you amazing people have decided to join this impromptu live stream. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the support. Hey, Prepper Book Club, good to see you. Michelle, good to see you as well. Yoshi's mom, it's good to see you as well. Grit and Grace, hello. Jules, I finally got a 2-second drip out of my faucet this afternoon. That's awesome, Jules. At least it's starting to get there, right? Let me see. I'm trying to see if I'm looking at anything else on the screen here. Yeah, thank you, Coffee First. Hit that thumbs up button, folks. Moose Lodge, good to see you. Little Lone Prepper. Thank you, man. So, folks, in regards to what's coming up, I do have a video that once I get out of this live stream, that's why I started it early. I got some work to do. I have a video on prepper pantry mistakes. And the video is basically about things that I've learned over the last 15 years of hurdles and issues that I ran into building a food pantry or an emergency food pantry. And I hope some people get value out of that in regards to maybe it's something that you haven't come across yet. Or, maybe you can share it with a friend and be like, hey, this video kind of tells you some do's and don'ts or some mistakes that he's made. And the reason I'm doing that video is because it was a requested video when I was talking about just prepper mistakes in general and things that I wish I would have known, years ago before, I ran into those mistakes. YouTube wasn't the type of platform that it was back when I first started prepping, which is in 2004. And, so I didn't have access to the material that we have today. There's lots of great community members and channel content creators that have shared their information out, because we all experience different things depending on where we live and situations that we've dealt with. A lot of you folks are here today just to possibly, get some information from me in regards to prepping thing, in regards to emergency preparedness. We have built this community over the last couple of years, and it's grown tremendously. And I could have never fathomed, in 1,000 years that we'd be here today with the number of subscribers and the number of community members that, help contribute to the channel's growth, as well as to the content that I produce. You folks that leave comments, especially if I get something wrong, if I get something right, or just sharing your experiences in general, is truly of value to everyone else that's watching that video that happens to come across that video, because it's not only me having a channel, it's building this community and all of us together sharing this information to help others learn from some of the things that we've experienced and help them grow as preppers. A lot of times, folks, preppers get a bad name. We got this, a lot of people have a mindset that preppers are, some folks, hidden in the mountains in a bunker somewhere and, get off my lawn and stuff like that. And some of us may be, you know what I mean? But it's prepping is becoming more mainstream. And there's people that prep that probably don't even know that they're preppers in the aspect of, they're like, man, they went through a situation. They realized that, hey, having a couple extra cans of food, having some medical stuff and, extra water is beneficial, not only for them, but their family. So I love where it's going. We're still always going to be demonized no matter what. I think Rudy had said something about, he's been kind of like, I don't want to say he's been more restricted. A lot of channels like myself and many others out there, we get shoved down into the bottom bellows of the tube world. And because it's, for some reason, it seems like that mainstream doesn't want people to be prepared. And they're always kind of like, just kind of like, we put out a video that I feel that's going to be very helpful to some folks. And I don't mean review videos. I mean like, how-to videos or a video on a specific topic that could truly benefit someone, like, winter preparedness or preparing your car, how to prepare for, grid issues where there's blackouts and stuff like that, that could truly help someone out, building a, a get home bag, or, your EDC. Why is EDC important? Everyday carry. And why do we carry the things that we do? And sharing that information with a lot of people. And it's very tight to get folks. Hey, Forrest, good to see you. Jacob, good to see you as well. And yeah, I agree. K survival, KY survival. Um, and it's just that it just seems like if you do cat videos or gaming videos or stuff like that, entertainment, I guess it's more of an entertainment thing that sells more on the tubes versus informative. Some channels have been able to break out of that, but and then the worst part about it, here's what I hate seeing in I guess not only in our community but in just generalized communities in real life, is inter the inter argumentation, and where I don't think that's a word, but where people are arguing with one another because so and so did this, so and so did that. I think that the best way to share our information is to be repetitive. Let's say I was to do a video, I don't know, let's say how to store rice for 25 years. I think it needs to be every year someone needs to do a video on how to store rice for 25 years. And the reason I say this is because if 1,000 prepping channels do how to store rice for 25 years, they may not see my video, but they may see that person's video. So I think bringing in the old and kind of just keep bringing in the topics, and every channel just touches on them. Eventually more information gets out there, because then it becomes more mainstream in the aspect that when people search something or they type in the word rice or beans or whatever it may be, they'll it comes up more in the suggested videos. You know what I mean? Because these are things that people should know, at least from my perspective. All right, so let me take a moment, take a breath here, and kind of read through chat a little bit and see what you guys are talking about, and see what I missed, because I'll get in a run and then just start rambling. But you folks know this, right? Hey, Fluffy Otter, good to see you as well. Neighbor, what's up, Jeff? Need to do a foraging and gathering video. Steve, that would be a great idea. It's funny that you mentioned that, because something that me and the wife do when we go out and we just go for hikes in the woods. We'll take the pup out and let him get some exercise, get him familiar with the area that we're hiking in, and we always try to take the time and look at the foliage, look at the trees, look at all the different plants that we're passing by. Currently, being that we're in a world where we have access to a computer in our hand, you can find the apps that kind of can help you determine some of this stuff like that. And then my wife likes to take a little notebook and then kind of write it down and kind of put where we found it at. You know what I mean? And so for future references, we know that, oh, hey, there's a medicinal plant on that one trail or hiking area that we were in. Like I find a lot of muscadine grapes in our area, as well as a lot of medicinal plants that I was unaware of. I know a lot of you folks probably know what a cattail is. They're very, in swampy areas, which Florida is basically a big old swamp that's been developed. And I'm assuming that all over the United States there's cattails, and cattails have a lot of benefits in the aspect of you can do things with them. I mean, you can make a flour out of them. They have some medicinal properties. But the one that to me, I feel that always goes that people forget about is the weeds. And what I mean by weeds is dandelions. And dandelions, the whole plant has some sort of property that you can use either medicinally or for a coffee type drink. And so on. Like people like the dandelion wine. I love dandelion jam. But a lot of people look at the dandelion as just a weed and they walk past it, or they get rid of it, or they spray it with chemicals to get rid of it, not realizing that that plant has so much to offer us as a person. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of material and information that I love sharing out with folks. And I did a dandelion video a long time ago. Maybe I should start doing it again. But it's just such a beneficial plant, along with so much other stuff, like the plantain. God, I mean, the list goes on. Willow bark, how you can use it as, as aspirin. There's just so many great plants out there that can be used, in worst case scenarios. Because let's be honest, folks. If things ever really go crazy where we don't have access to traditional medicine, uh, our lives will depend on knowing our area and what's available to us medicinally and edibly, or I don't know, that's not even a word, but that's edible and can be used medicinally. There's things I've come across of plants that I never knew that had so much medicinal properties that after doing research and learning about it, I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. I love learning that stuff. And that's why I always suggest that people have like a library of like books, and not just prepping books, but books about medicinal plants, books about how to repair small engines, books about this and that, because as scientists are predicting, the internet may disappear and may go down. And if it does, some people, they're saying either maybe a week or so, up to 6 months or longer. Just imagine how life would be. And people think, oh, it's just the internet. I'll get some peace and quiet. I don't have to deal with the kids staring at a screen anymore. It goes way beyond that. The internet controls so much. A lot of our, uh, you know, power plants and water facilities and gas stations and point of sale systems and businesses and banking all have to deal with the internet. Are these systems that are in place? Do they have a redundancy for not having access to the World Wide Web or the internet as we know it? Uh, I'm assuming that we've gotten so complacent that they probably don't, because where I work at my job, whenever we have an issue with the internet, which we've had in the past, and it's down for an hour or so, and I ask the person, well, hey, do you have any cash? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I think to myself, just imagine the banking system was to fail or shut down for even a few days and people aren't getting their paychecks and don't have cash readily accessible to them. They're kind of stuck. And in my mind, even at my business, we should have some sort of redundancy. Remember the credit card machines that you would kind of do that whole scrapey thing, all the old school stuff. But I remember when I was a kid that when I went to the hardware store in my small town up north, they had a huge cash register, and it was kind of like all the buttons, and you had to do math in your head. The machine and the point of sale system didn't do it for you. You actually had to have some sort of knowledge to like, hey, if I pay $5.75 and I pay with $10, this is how much change I get back. Have you ever went to a drive-through, let's say a restaurant or a fast food joint where mostly Gen Z works? And I hate picking on Gen Z, but it is what it is at this point, that you give them, they get flustered if you give them a specific amount of cash, and they're kind of like a deer in headlights, and they're just like they're frozen in time, like they don't know what to do. Other than they're just so used to handing a piece of plastic and saying, here you go. They swipe it and on their way. They're just not used to running numbers in their head and doing that kind of stuff. KY Survival, I agree. The only reason we have a bank, and I'm very reluctant when it comes to certain things when it comes to banking, but we have a banking because half the companies that we deal with to pay utilities or bills or whatnot, they want a instant wire transfer. They want you to pay online. Paying via check is a thing of the past. It's a rarity that we find a way to pay by check. So the money that goes into the bank is the minimal amount to cover the bills, and that's it. Other than that, we take the fiat currency, we save that, we take some of that fiat currency and invest it into food, water, medicine, and me personally, I do invest into silver and stuff like that, just because I feel it's a commodity that works for me as a wealth retention kind of investment, because I don't want to go too down the silver highway and get deep into that whole thing. Hey, Daryl Calhoun, good to see you. I need a shovel to access my bank account. Man, I can imagine. Some folks are snowed in, right? And where I lost my train of thought, but it's the minimum to survive via, paying the bills. Outside of that, I just don't trust it, because if there's ever a bank run or if there's ever an economic collapse, we, the people, will probably be the last people to know that it's happening, because mass media is always going to present that everything is unicorns and rainbows. It's that the world is great, nothing's wrong, nothing to see here, that this will never happen in America, and I'm assuming other countries felt the same way in regards to it just won't happen there. But you just never know. So why not be prepared and have that redundancy to protect not only yourself but your family and possibly others? You know what I mean? So trust me, I get it. The banking system is a scary thing, and it's happened in the past. That's a big thing, is people don't realize in the past our banking system has gone haywire several times. So it's a matter of time before it does it again. I was reading an article today that J.P. Morgan wrote, and he's not I don't know who he's one of the elite, of course, but they're preparing for a mass situation where people aren't going to be able to pay their credit cards. I forget how many, and he said also that they've been cyber attacked, like, I don't know, millions of times over the last year. So just imagine that one of these cyber hackers had the ability to actually break through these walls and stifle the banking system. It's a scary thought for a lot of folks because their 401k, their entire life savings is in the digital ether. And if that collapses, they have nothing. They have nothing to retire. They're too old to work and to do anything like that. So they're counting on that retirement. And if that was to go away, some people would honestly probably give up, which is, it's hard for me to say, but as you saw the stock market crash back, and when that happened, people were jumping out of buildings because they felt that they lost everything and they couldn't come back from that. All right, I'm going to take another breather here and look at chat. No trash pickup in East Tennessee. Wow, that's crazy. It's too cold for them, right? Do you have enough seeds? How about the carrots? Empress Jennifer. So I've been wanting to do an update on the carrot progress and an update on the garden itself. And sorry, folks, whenever I see a comment, I like to answer it and kind of touch on that. If I miss your comment, I do apologize. But you guys always say that when me and Rudy do a video or live streams that I don't talk that much. So you're getting a lot of me tonight. But it's been I'll have to take a picture for you guys. It's been so wet here. Like, to go out there and try to set up to do this video is a lot more complicated than it sounds. But we did do a harvest. I saved the videos. Whenever the wife goes out there and cuts something up or does something to the garden, I do document it on the video, because every time she says, "Hey, babe, I'm going to go out and grab some broccoli, or I'm going to go grab some lettuce for tonight's dinner," I'm like, "Hold on. I need a camera. Let me get my phone. I need to record you doing what you're doing because I want to share that with my viewers just to show you the progress of the garden and how we actually use the food that we grow, daily or and weekly for our meals." And but yes, so the carrot update will be coming soon. I will be in that video. I'm just going to be showing you how I thin them, how I thin carrots. They're doing really good. I mean, this weather that we've been having this year, my garden is doing phenomenal. Now, one of the tomato plants, since I haven't been out there enough between getting sick and the holidays, some of them got, they're not dying or nothing like that, but they're not doing as good as they could. Some of the tomatoes are actually starting to ripening now, and they're looking good. They're doing well in the aspect of producing. I'm just waiting. It's been so cold that when the weather is a little bit cooler, in the 45 to 60 degree range, tomatoes, as it colder, takes longer to ripen. But the benefit to that is that longer process makes the tomatoes sweeter. So, there's a give and take with everything, because tomatoes do love heat, at least specific varieties of them do. But the cold actually benefits a lot of things in the garden as well, just like the carrots. That's why the carrots will be able to harvest those before spring or right around springtime. And being that they grew in a colder environment, the carrots are going to have a lot more of a sweeter taste to them. And that's why I like having a garden and sharing my progress with you. I'm no expert gardener. I'm no MI gardener. I'm no what is his name? Self-Sufficient Me. There's a couple other ones that I watch. God, what is his name? He's out in Zone 9B, but he's in California. I can't think of his name. He's a guy, and he's been doing gardening. His gardening channel has over 1 million subscribers. He's been doing it for like 13 years. I think he's been doing gardening channels. Matter of fact, he was one of the folks that are saying that he's stepping back, that he's cutting back on doing YouTube, and he made an announcement, and then he kind of turned me on to what was going on with all these other channels that were kind of stepping away from YouTube. Because a lot of folks feel that long-term form content, videos that are 15 to 30 minutes long are a thing of the past because people's attention spans aren't long enough to hang around. So they do these 30 to 60-second YouTube shorts, which may work for some, but the type of audience that I'm looking for my channel is people that want to learn and be engaged for a lot longer than 60 seconds. So that's kind of why I don't do YouTube shorts. Everybody says it'll benefit the channel, but you figure the people that you're grabbing from YouTube shorts, it's a way to expose your channel to more people. But most of those folks are just looking for quick, a quick 60-second, maybe a couple of minute videos. They're not looking for long format videos, if that makes sense. Hoser Pioneer, you should only have, well, how long have we been going for? 30 minutes? Yeah. So the first ad should roll now. Everybody should get it at the same time or possibly separate. I don't know how it works, but I use the least amount of ads. And it's like Rudy said, if we don't monetize our videos or monetize the live streams, YouTube doesn't make money. And YouTube will not promote our videos. So we have to keep some sort of monetization on the channel. And a lot of you folks are understanding of that. So I truly appreciate that. I appreciate that, Michelle. Thank you. JT, you've gotten 2. You must be lucky you, right? Fluffy says, just received 1. Gypsy Vano, hello. Viv B says, starting on my onion seeds soon. Viv, I got my onions. They're kind of at their midpoint right now. Kristen, good to see you as well. I live an hour south of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Riots were very scary. And Tammy, I hate to, here's my perspective, being that this is an election year. No matter what happens this election year, a lot of folks, whether you love him or hate him, Trump is probably going to be the Republican nominee, no matter what they try to throw at him, no matter what happens. He's probably, I'm almost positive that he's going to be the representative for the Republicans. The Democratic side is a little bit more controversial in the aspect of, like, are they really going to let Joe, do his thing again? Like, are they really going to try to push him in regards to everything that's even everyone I've asked in regards, and not to get too political, but, I'm just saying in general that everyone that I've talked to, even people that voted for him last round, said there's no way that they're going to vote for him. The way I see it, I mean, it's pretty much going to come to, there's rumors that, and I hate talking about rumors. Not banned account, thank you. How can we prepare against MAGA extremist policies? MAGA extremist policies. Do you understand what you're saying? So, make America great again, extremist policies. Here's the thing is, we got to stop being so divided in regards to stuff, because if you look at the Trump administration's policies, now, not every single one was great. There's things that Trump did that kind of irked me in regards to gun legislation, because I'm a big 2A advocate, okay? That's just me. I believe in our Constitution and what it stands for, and all the blood that's been spilt and people that have died for that Constitution, to give everyone the freedom to have a voice. And those freedoms are very dear to me. So people, when you look at policies, was gas cheaper at that point? Was food cheaper at that point? Were we involved in any type of war at that point, be it proxy or, and whatnot? You have to look at, okay, so during his 4 years, outside of what you saw, and we saw a lot of rioting, we saw a lot of things, extremists like Antifa, out there doing their thing, burning things down, creating lots of havoc, scaring the living daylights out of a lot of, Americans that don't believe in that type of extremism. So when we talk about extremism, to me, that's extreme. Going out and destroying public property, looting, violence, and stuff like that. And all that stuff that we saw, I mean, I used to sit and watch for hours on these live streams before I even did YouTube. I think, it was right when I started getting into the YouTube thing, watching these crazy riots happen night after night after night after night. The thing is, the story that people don't get from that is all of the other people that it affected. And I don't know. I think we need to stop focusing on certain things. So when we look at Joe and his policies, what have they done? When you look at Joe and his policies currently, gas is up, and regardless of what they say about inflation, I look at more the cost of food. How much does it cost me to buy $100 worth of groceries today versus that it cost me back in, let's say, 2019? So I look at that. I don't look at, because no matter when there's a president, there's also a cabinet, and then there's also Congress. So you have a Senate and a House, and together they create these issues. And I'm not saying that everything, like I said, that he did was perfect, but things were seemed to be a lot better. And that's just my personal view on it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, there's always going to be extremism on the right, and there's always going to be extremism on the left. That's just going to be life in general. In whatever country that you live in, there's always a far right and a far left. A lot of us fall into a center part. The majority of people fall into just, hey, we want to be left alone. We want to live life. We want to raise our family in peace. We want an environment to raise our family where we don't have to worry about looking over our shoulders, being robbed, kidnapped, murdered, and so on and so forth. If you notice, crime all over the globe, and especially here in the United States, has gotten so bad that people are moving out of the big cities, finally realizing that, hey, I cannot raise a family in this environment because people are dying. People, just, if you could just look at the bigger picture other than this candidate or that candidate. Sorry, I just went down a tangent just because whenever I see things like that, I don't believe that, there's always going to be people on whatever side that they fall on that are going to be somewhat extremist. But the majority of folks out there are just people that just want to be happy and left alone and live the American dream and try to do what they can in life. At least that's the way I look at life. Viv B, you're absolutely right. Our country's so far gone that it's just depending on who wins, it either speeds up the process or slows down the process. Empress Jennifer, I have not. My apologies. After being sick and stuff like that, I will check it here in the next few days. I will check it. F. Peer, I'm very curious as well because that's going to set the stage in regards to, because your VP or your vice president has a lot to do well, this VP hasn't, but currently the VP or whatever VP that's chosen has an important role to play. And we've seen that in the past. And I mean, not just in recent past, but I mean, in all of our history, how important role a VP can play. So I think a president should really, really dig deep and choose a VP that's beneficial to the country, not just at face value that it's, it's as a token VP. You know what I mean? I think people should pick and like I said, I'm just an average, normal American citizen. I think they should do a lot of thought when choosing a vice president, because if the president gets sick or anything happens to that president, that vice president takes the reins. So I think that's just as important as people who vote for president. So it will be interesting to see who that is. No, Oki-Khan, it will not be. Yeah, right, Miss Worm? Let me see. Yoshi's mom agreed. All right, thank you, Empress. I appreciate that. Right, Minuteman says T1000. What you doing? Want another DEI VP? No. I'm hoping that they steer away from that, but DEI, God, that's a whole topic on itself. I'm trying to kind of pay attention to chat here, kind of look instead of rambling. I've been rambling on for 40 minutes straight. I want to keep this under an hour, folks, because I do have that video to edit. Hopefully, you guys will take the time and watch that video as well. Usually, anything that has to do with the pantry and the preparedness pantry does generally do well on YouTube because it's a very informative topic to discuss on, especially the pantry hauls. You're right, Viv. That's absolutely. And I'm kind of scrolling through chat. If you guys have any questions, please throw them in chat, and I'll try to catch them now because I'm kind of paying attention to the chat. Unfortunately, FPeer, I agree. Like I said, I try not to get too political on my channel because it usually steers people away. I got a comment one time, or an email actually, someone who was on my channel about a couple of years ago when I first started, and they sent me, hey, they're like, hey, I understand that, you have YouTube and it's your platform, and but I don't agree with a lot of things you say. This is when I used to do the Sunday shift report, and they said, I apologize, but I like you as a person, but I just don't like the things that you were talking about. And they left the channel, and I told them, I said, it's a shame that if I do a political video, that's just one spectrum of my channel. And I feel that it was a loss to them because of the fact that all the other information that I share, be it gardening, be it food preservation, be it, pantry stuff, be it just emergency preparedness topics in general, I felt that they were losing out on that. So I try to keep that out. But, you can only do so much. You can't make everyone happy. Nostradamus. I knew someone was going to throw that out there. That's funny. Miss Worm, I got a lot of folks here locally that watch your stories on your channel. Let me see here. I'm trying to take a moment here. Are you all promoting Yarn Preppers Knitting? She rocks. Absolutely. And I always tell everybody, I mean, because Yarn's platform is Instagram, and she does a great job over there. And she is a heck of a, Yarn, I got to find a way to incorporate the things that you sent me for this Christmas that's behind me somewhere. I don't know if I could just kind of hang it or something. The wife loves this stuff, I'll tell you that, but Yarn is awesome. Will do, Miss Worm. That's a great, I do forget to say that. I'm glad you say that now. That's going to be ingrained in my brain that they need to drop a comment to help support your channel. Let me see here. I'm backing up a little bit. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Like I said, this was kind of a very impromptu live. Everybody knows I don't think I've ever done a live stream on a Wednesday. I'm just backing up a little bit to see if I missed anything. And I'm looking for any questions. And usually it's easier to see a question if you do type it in all caps. Weekend at Bernie's. Well, you win some, you lose some. My pleasure, Yarn. I love you guys. If I drop a comment, my cat will chase it down and then hide it. Kaylin, it's good to see you, Kaylin. How you been? Sure, Minute Man. Thank you, Kaylin. I haven't done it. I like doing Q&A sometimes because sometimes the chat goes by so fast that I'm not paying attention and I miss a lot of stuff because I'm just kind of focusing on you guys. And when I pull something out of the comment section, I'm just talking and talking, and I miss a lot. But there would be a lot of dead air if I just stared at the comments half the time. Coffee First Then Speak says, one reason I love your channel, I can ask a question in the comments, you always answer. And it's funny you say that, Coffee First. I was reading something about YouTube and how YouTube works and how you create your own community. If any of you guys go to my channel or any videos that I've done over the last year or two, know that anytime that you leave a comment, I try to answer it, especially if it's a question. I will go above and beyond. If I can't find an answer for you, I will add a link to a place where you can find the information that you're looking for. I'm still that guy that literally tries to go through every single comment. So it's hard to explain my job. I run a everyday carry store. And for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 9 a.m. in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, that's where I'm at Thursday and Friday and Saturday. As I'm at work. That's why you don't really, I release videos. I record videos through the first part of the week and then release them while I'm at work. But while I'm at work, during the downtime, as I call it, that's when I start going through all my comments and I try to catch up on my emails. So when I drop a video, I try to be as interactive as possible because I feel it's only fair to you, my viewers, that if you have a question, I need to answer that question because you're here for information. So if I'm sharing information and someone has a question about either a product that I'm reviewing or a topic that I'm talking on, I like to answer that. But what really makes me truly happy is when I see other folks that have either the same amount of knowledge or more knowledge than I do get involved and help answer some of those questions as well. I've seen. I love the fact that that my community here on my channel are very interactive, not only with me but with one another, because that builds a support structure. Because again, like I want to reiterate that we all learn from one another. I am not the end all solve all to everything that's emergency preparedness. I'm learning every day, just like you folks are. I would never say that I'm an expert in anything. I would hate to say that I'm an expert because I've watched, and I don't want to, I've watched the survival shows. And when you watch a survival show on TV, because it intrigues me, they'll say, this person is a survival expert and they're doing this. So please don't try this at home. And then you watch the survival expert that has, let's say, 20 years under their belt, and something goes south because they're unfamiliar with the environment, they make a mistake, or whatever happens to kind of curtail their situation on the survival show, should make you think that this person that lives, eats, and breathes survival failed at this, that no one is perfect, that we always need to continue learning and looking at other people's perspective. Let's say if I do a video on how to start a fire with a ferrocerium rod, and I say, this is my way, this is the specific way that I use a ferrocerium rod to start a fire, be it in the rain, be it in the cold, be it whatever it may be. I always suggest to folks that outside of just watching my video, you should watch 5 or 6 other videos or however other many videos that you have time for on the same topic, and then draw your own conclusion from all those videos so that you get a variety of information and perspectives on how to start a fire with the ferrocerium rod. I'm not, it's not me. You know what I mean? Prepping is all of us. I don't know how to convey that more so than say that don't just watch my channel, watch a lot of channels. If you find that you find that person easy to understand, they present the material in a way that makes it easy for you to either take notes or to learn or to share the information with, then that's a beautiful thing. That's why, when it comes to prepping, I don't really watch a lot of prepping channels. There are certain ones that I watch for specific news and their take on the news. But I watch a lot of gardening stuff. I watch a lot of homesteading stuff. I even watch a lot of reviews. So I'm looking around. So you guys can see there's power stations and lanterns and flashlights and, walkie talkies and, communication devices behind me. When I do a review on a product, I'm no expert on comms. So I will watch 3, 4, maybe 5 videos on that radio before I even do my radio. I will take notes after watching their review on the same thing that I'm reviewing, take some notes, do a little research on from the page that I get from the person. Let's say it's Blue Eddy, and Blue Eddy says, hey, we want you to review this power station. So I look up the power station and I read their information. I look through the handbook, but then I watch 4 or 5 videos on that power station. Then I combine all that information and try to put it into my video because maybe there's a different take or I learned something else that no one else did. Not saying, like I said, that happens very often, but there's always something that, I use the Blue Yeti EB55 for this purpose, or I use an EcoFlow for this purpose. Why is it important to me? Is it important to you for the same purpose that I'm using it for? So that's why I suggest that, it's like diversity. When we talk about food diversity, diversify your research. And people will say they hate review videos, but how many of you folks out there, before you buy something, if let's say if you're on Amazon, you read all the reviews, bad and good. You watch a few reviews on, let's say, YouTube or some platform, and you learn about the product and the reviews and see what other folks are talking about. Is this something that's going to work for you? Before you go out and take that money out of your wallet and pay for something, be it if it's a couple of bucks or thousands of dollars, I'm assuming that we all want to do a little research before we throw money at it. You know what I mean? That's why I always tell everybody when I do a review video, You don't have to ever buy anything. You don't. It's just their company's giving me a product that I found interest in. I decide to do the review video and they give me a code. And if folks are interested in that, hey, buy it. If you're not, don't worry about it. At least you watched the video, you left a comment, you hit that thumbs up button. That's what matters to me. I'm not here, the money's an afterthought. Me and the wife live an okay life. We're not rich, we're not poor. You know what I mean? I guess we're middle income. But I like doing those videos because I watch a ton of review videos. So I like being involved in the review side of emergency preparedness. Plus, it's cool to see the nifty gadgets they come out with. Some gadgets make your life easier. Some gadgets will save your life, like a water purification filter or something like that. Some are better than others. So sometimes we have to do a comparative thing. Is the Berkey filter the best filter on the market for a gravity filter? Is it? Have you guys seen the videos on some of the Berkey filters and how some people say they're not sure? I forget what it is. There's a government organization that certifies things to a certain extent that says that this filter works and it's certified to do this, and that. In California, I don't think you can buy Berkey filters. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're not allowed to sell Berkey filters in California. And people are like, oh, it's just California, but there's specific regulations that they're not passing. But here's the way I look at it. Anything is going to be better than nothing. But just before you go out and spend $300 or $400, watch review videos. Not only the good review videos, but the bad review videos, people that don't agree with what this person is saying, so that you yourself can make an informed decision. Because there's lots of variations of it. I have a review video coming out hopefully in February, maybe before that. I'm pretty sure it's February, of a Berkey-esque filtration unit. And after doing the research, that's kind of where I went down the rabbit hole of water filtration in regards to the Berkey itself. And this company that makes this, their filters work in the Berkey system, but it's a little bit cheaper. So if I feel that I can offer my viewers an option that does the same job or better or close enough to it where they could save couple $100, then I'm going to share that with my folks out here. Sorry, I went down that rabbit hole, but things are just, things just pop into your head as you get into these conversations. Hey, Colleen Rich, good to see you. All right, let me see. Now that I've been rambling, let me take a look at the chat real fast. Hey, James, how you doing, man? I can't buy Berkey filters and have them shipped to Iowa. The only reason why I have a set is Alaska Prepper mailed them to me from his house, took it to the post office. Wow, that's interesting, Kaylin. Hey, America First, good to see you. Let me see here. It shows blue link for me. If you have an Apple update. Take care, Stuart. We're going to go for a few more minutes. If you guys have any other questions you want to throw at me before we add, we're going to be here for another 7 minutes because I do have to get that video edited. It won't come out tomorrow, but I'll probably release it Friday around 4 o'clock. If you're interested in learning about prepper pantry mistakes that I've made over the past 15 years. And it's like scratching the tip of the iceberg. But I figured I'll get the conversation started in regards to pantry mistakes. And then you, my viewers, can chime in the comment section and be like, hey, I made this mistake. This is what I learned. And of course, we build that conversation together. Hey, Rocka, good to see you as well. I didn't see you in there. I can't delete my own comments either. YouTube's always updating and you never know what they're changing in there. I get a lot of weird stuff on the back end. Leaving as soon as Salty starts. I don't even know what Salty is. It must be a channel. The unknown knows. Good to see you. I appreciate that, F-Beer. I really do. I have several ceramic and charcoal filters for my Berkey. It's a good system. And yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad system at all. There's a lot of pros to every system out there. But there's, I guess there's, I don't know if you want to call them clones of the Berkey that use the same media that the Berkey uses for filtration. And if Berkey, a lot of times they're because it's a brand name. Sometimes you'll pay more for that brand name when you can buy the same medium, the filters themselves, for a more affordable price. Because the bottom line is none of us are millionaires. So whenever we can save a few bucks on something that works just as good as something else, why not, right? But I let you be the judge. We should all test our water regularly. And if you really want to know about your water filtration system, be if it's reverse osmosis, a Berkey filter, a Sawyer Mini, whatever, GeoPress, is get the water tested. Get the water tested. Go get some pond water, some nasty water, run it through your filtration system, and get the water tested. You can buy water testing kits online, but you can also go to your local waterman. That's what it's called here in my area, and get your water tested. It'll test for pathogens, bacteria, and stuff like that, and see for yourself if the water is where you want it to be at. You can even get a hard water tester. There's a lot of things that you can do, a TDS meter, to see how well that filter is working for you in regards to purifying the water. Because it's better to test it now and know that what you got works for what you need it for, than to find out down the road that in an emergency that it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Kind of get where I'm going with that? Hey, did you know that if you want to do an amended tax return, you have to do the entire return again? Oh, that's crazy. It is tax season, isn't it? It's very annoying when you're a rubbish typist. Alexa Pure is another company that makes similar systems. Yes, Kaylin, Alexa Pure is. And if you go to the government site, and I know people don't like to trust government sites, but they have certifications that they give these companies that they have to pass in order before it to be sold to the consumer. And you can look up which ones have passed certifications, which one haven't. Let me see. Is your device, JT? If you're having what's the word I'm looking for? A question in regards to tech, you can always. I do have a degree in computer science. I might be able to help you. You have my number. Cronin says zero water is good, but they are very expensive and only filter 10 gallons per filter. Yeah, that seems pretty pricey for only 10 gallons. And like I said, what works for some may not work for others. Here's my biggest thing is we should never argue amongst one another. What works for me may not work for the next person. So the best advice I could give is whatever works for you, go with it. You know what I mean? If a Sawyer Pro, or I don't know if there's, but if a Sawyer system works good for you, then buy it. If the Berkey works for you, then buy it. Whatever you feel that's going to be best for you and your family, go for it. Let's say it comes down to, like, let's say portable power stations. You got EcoFlow, you got Opus, you have Blue Yeti, you have a lot of different brands out there. Quicktail. As a matter of fact, I got one sitting here that almost looks like the Mega 3, but it's by a different company. I'll be doing a review on it. But it's cheaper than other brands. So it's whatever. Do you need 3,000, do you need 3 kilowatts of power, or do you only need so much? Like, you need to decide what works best for you, be if it's brand specific or not. Some brands have a better reputation for warranty, for the quality of products and stuff like that. So you need to take that into account, but you kind of see where I'm going with that. So it's not an end all solve all thing. So I never try to push, hey, you have to buy this cup because this is the best cup. And I say it's the best cup. So now you have to buy this cup and don't buy any other cup. It's like I said, I never ever want to be that guy. You know what I mean? I just like to share information. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me see here. Hey, Charlie, good to see you, man. Hey, David, good to see you, man. I just watched your video. Man, you've come since we did the last interview with you, man. I noticed that your channel's grown tremendously, and the information that you share is extremely valuable. A lot of my gardening techniques that I use in my own life, I've learned from your channel, and I'm glad you keep on doing what you're doing, man. I hope to one day to have a situation where I can build my own food forest. I know you come to Florida sometimes from your area, and I was watching you down south helping that one gentleman build his food forest, and the information you share is just so valuable. Plus, your books are awesome. Hey, hey, what's up, Wes? Good to see you. The life straws are good if you know how to back flush the system and keep them cleaned. My experience with the life straws is I have had more issues with the life straws versus something to the extent of a Sawyer system. The Sawyers to me seem to work a lot better than the life straws, but this is from my own experience. Because a lot of people, if you use a water filtration system like a Sawyer or a life straw, you always have to remind yourself to clean it properly, which is back flushing the system. Because if you don't, you're going to create an issue. And when you need that life saving device, then you're going to have to, you're going to be in a situation. So if you want the life straws and you find a deal on them, sure, grab them. Just make sure you learn as much as you can about that tool that you're using, that provides a life savings aspect to it. Just from my experience, I prefer the Sawyer. Now, I like the GeoPress, but the GeoPress is a very expensive system. I would love to have one, but I just haven't felt that I needed to spend that kind of money on that system, being that I have a lot of other systems that I use for water filtration. Miss P, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. And Tony, that if they're on sale, then yes. That's what I mean. Like if you find something on sale, go for it. You know what I mean? It's proven that they work, and there's folks that will, preach and preach life straw. And they're used overseas in places like Africa and stuff like that. I mean, it's a commendable company that does help folks get access to clean, drinkable water. So I'm pretty sure that, the money that you invested into those goes to a good cause. At least that's what I hope. Um, but like I said, I just hope whenever you get any type of life-saving product, be it medical or water filtration, you learn as much as you can about it, how to use it, how to maintenance it, how to keep it clean, what's its limitations, what does that life straw, consist of? Does it get rid of Giardia? What other type of bacteria or pathogens does it work for? So just make sure. And if you're ever have a concern, you can always boil your water. Once you boil that water and bring it to a rolling boil, and let it boil for several minutes after that fact, you know that you're killing a lot of stuff in there, and then use the life straw. If you want to do redundancies just to make sure that you don't get sick, because that's the last thing you want is to get sick from drinking bad water. Boiling it is one of the easiest, cheapest ways, because you have fire, water, you boil it. And then you can use something to the extent of a shamag or a bandana or a piece of cheesecloth to filter out any particulates that might be in it if you're getting it from a water source like the river or a pond, and so on and so forth. Hey, Akita, good to see you. And I agree, Kaylin. They do make a variety of products. I'm trying to think. I thought I have something. I want to wrap this stream up. We're going a little over. Give me 1 second. I know I have it. So to give Kaylin, this is something that's I bought this with my own money because I want to see how well it works. And this is something new by Life Straw. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. There we go. This is a new product that I came across from the company Life Straw, and I want to compare it to the Sawyer Mini. It says it does bacteria, parasites, microplastics. Because if you drink bottled water, as if you saw Alaska Prepper, he did a video on that, and I read the same article a week or so ago about scientists, and they're not even worried about microplastic. They're called nanoplastics, and how much of it we consume drinking bottled water. But it's something that this is the stuff that I do, excuse me, as someone who's in the field of emergency preparedness. I see a new product, I want to check it out. Not everything I get's for free, you know what I mean? So I bought it, and I want to check it out, you know what I mean? And play with it, run some tests on it. And of course, I'll probably share the findings with you, my viewers, on stuff like that, in case you want to check that out yourself. Grit and Grace, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm always forward thinking. When I see stuff like that, I'm like, I wonder if anybody else has seen that, and I like I said, I like to compare as best as, what is the flow rate? How long does the filter last? How many gallons does it, filter through? Just all those different things that, need to be discussed before someone goes out and spends the money, if they're looking for that comparison video. Other than that, folks, I don't have anything else. I want to, really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your evening to come and say hello. It's great to be back. I should be back on a regular schedule. Me and Rudy should be live this Monday. I got some really fun stuff coming up. Myself and the Wolf Pack Nutrient Survival got something really cool that we're working on together. I had a meeting with them today, kind of giving you the inside scoop. So that will be fun. It's I feel blessed to have to work with a company like Nutrient Survival. They're great people. Eric, Becky, and the whole staff over there at Nutrient Survival are really good people. And when they reached out to me about something they wanted to do and involve me in it, I was like, heck yeah. So we're going to be doing something. I hope a lot of you folks will be involved in that. So I'll be doing a live stream with the Wolf Pack, possibly on my channel and on their channel. If you guys can hang out with us and check it out. We'll be doing some stuff. And you never know. If Becky's there, she's always giving stuff away, just kind of like a little hint there. But you never know. But anyways, folks, I want, again, to say thank you. I appreciate your guys' time for hanging out with me this evening on a Wednesday night, midweek, right? Midweek. I'm trying to look here on my thing here. I guess I'm going to keep that up there. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, drop them down in the comments. If you enjoy the live stream or if I missed something, put that down in the comments. I'll answer them tomorrow when I'm at work. And other than that, I will catch everybody on the rebound. And folks, remember, you are not alone. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys next week. And God bless and stay safe out there. Have a good night.